"You are in Barbados!" These words, spoken with unwavering conviction by Abdullah, became the foundation of one of Neville Goddard's most profound lessons in the law of assumption. This is the story of how Abdullah, an Ethiopian Jewish mystic, taught Neville to unlock the creative power of his imagination during the Great Depression of 1933. At the time, Neville was struggling. The Great Depression had left millions unemployed, and New York City was no exception. Neville, a dancer by trade, found himself out of work and living in a small basement apartment on 75th Street. He longed to return to his homeland, Barbados, after 12 years away. Yet he had no money and no means to make the journey. In desperation, he sought the guidance of his mentor, Abdullah, who lived nearby in a home rented from the influential Morgenthau family. When Neville expressed his desire to return to Barbados, Abdullah responded with a statement that Neville initially found absurd. "You are in Barbados." Confused, Neville protested, explaining that he was very much in New York and lacked the money to travel. But Abdullah dismissed his protests and insisted, "You are now in Barbados. You see Barbados. You smell the tropical air. You feel the warmth of the Caribbean sun. Sleep tonight in Barbados as though you are already there." Skeptical, but willing to try, Neville followed Abdullah's instructions. That night, he closed his eyes and imagined himself in Barbados. He pictured his family's home, the small streets, and the clear skies. He immersed himself in the feeling of being there, seeing America as far to the north, thousands of miles away. Weeks passed, and nothing seemed to change. Neville approached Abdullah again, hoping for reassurance, but Abdullah refused to entertain any doubts. "How can we discuss how you're going to Barbados," he said, "when you are already in Barbados? Stay faithful to your assumption." On the morning of December 4th, Neville awoke to a letter slipped under his door. It was from his brother Victor in Barbados. The letter included a draft for $50 and instructions to collect a ticket for passage on a ship to Barbados. Excited, Neville rushed to the ticket office only to find that all the first-class accommodations were taken. He accepted a third-class ticket and shared the news with Abdullah. But Abdullah, unamused, simply said, "Who told you you're going third class? You went to Barbados and you went first class." On the day of departure, as Neville prepared to board, the agent informed him of an unexpected change. A first-class ticket had become available. Neville sailed to Barbados in first-class comfort, just as Abdullah had affirmed. 10 days to the island, 10 days back, and 3 wonderful months spent at home. All because he persisted in imagining the end result. This experience was not just about traveling to Barbados, it was a transformative lesson in the power of assumption. Abdullah taught Neville that the how is irrelevant. The only thing that matters is living as though the desire is already fulfilled. Neville realized that once he had assumed the state of being in Barbados, everything else aligned to make it happen. Abdullah's approach was unapologetically direct. He refused to coddle Neville's doubts. He likened the process of imagination to pregnancy. You have conceived the idea. Now let it grow. Don't interfere or question it, or you risk a miscarriage. Stay faithful to your assumption. Abdullah's teachings extended far beyond this one experience. He was a master of the Kabbalah, deeply knowledgeable about scripture, and committed to teaching Neville the true meaning of spiritual principles. He believed in living boldly and unapologetically, refusing to let societal norms dictate his actions. Whether it was demanding the best seats at the opera or enjoying life with good food and drink, Abdullah embodied the principle that life is meant to be lived fully. The essence of this story is clear. Imagination creates reality. What you assume to be true and persist in believing will become your experience. Neville's journey to Barbados is a testament to this truth. It teaches us to trust our imagination, disregard appearances, and live in the end result. So, how can you apply this lesson to your own life? Choose a desire that feels out of reach. Close your eyes and imagine it as already fulfilled. Feel the joy, the relief, and the gratitude as if it is real. Persist in this assumption, no matter what the outer world tells you. Let go of the how and trust that the details will unfold in ways you cannot predict. Remember Abdullah's words, "You are already there." Assume it, feel it, live it, and watch as your reality shifts to match your imagination. Just as Neville sailed first class to Barbados, you too can manifest the desires of your heart through the power of belief and unwavering faith.